Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. Your faithful puppet reporter comes to you this week voicing concern and consternation over the increasingly moral, ethical, and even spiritual decline of Western civilization. Notice that I did not say USA civilization, neither did I say American civilization. No, I'm referring for the purposes of this video to discuss Western civilization instead. Not necessarily the happiest subject matter, but one that presses on me all the more as time goes by. For any of us old enough to remember, the times of our youth were mostly times when people felt genuine shame or remorse for doing nefarious deeds, lying, cheating, stealing, or even worse. Most of us were raised in dual-parent homes where a father and mother jointly invested in correcting us so that we would hopefully end up being upstanding citizens for our adult years. Kids who said socially unacceptable words either got their mouths washed out with soap or had to stand in a corner for multiple hours for said offense. Kids caught stealing were taken by one of both parents to the party to whom they had stolen from and made to pay restitution and also apologize. Often there were additional repercussions such as grounding for a week or loss of TV privileges for a period of time. The intent always was to steer the child or teenager to some feelings of guilt, remorse, and hopefully a change of behavior in the future. Now, before going any further, allow me to state the morals and ethics used as guideposts for these decisions were not just biologically ingrained in our parents and our elders, and even school and government officials. No, these had been passed down through generations of people as societal norms that were in fact based upon a Christian belief system. Now, I know some are in denial and are outright discontent regarding the fact that our nation was founded upon Christian beliefs and principles. But there is quite simply no other explanation for where our laws and societal norms came from. Suffice it to say that neither atheism nor Gnosticism had any moral or spiritually ethical leanings in and of themselves. Now here we find ourselves, kids and cousins, in the post-religious age where anything can and often does go. And what are the rewards we are seeing? Allow me at this juncture to also state that I am in no wise pushing for a strict theologically driven government and or societal system, as it can be seen that those often lead to other atrocities being committed upon innocent citizens. But what we need is a happy balance between what can be called theological dictatorships and out-and-out secularist republics. Unfortunately, friends and comrades, what all of the Western world has in the 21st century are in fact secular societies and governments, and the results we are seeing are taking us on a downward path that me feels will not end well for future generations. You remember the admonishment from your mother? If your friend jumped off a bridge, would you also? Well, it turns out that groupthink is far more common than many of us either recognize or readily acknowledge at all. If, per se, some easily influenced citizens of whichever country were to, by chance, see their government leaders committing particularly heinous crimes and or treasonous undertakings, could said citizens somehow get the impression that those actions are now de facto acceptable? Does Santa Claus have a white beard? What we are seeing in the West, and if really want to, worldwide for that matter, is lowest common denominator reasoning and decision making, like it or not. And increasingly, we are seeing high-ranking perpetrators walk away scot-free, so the downward societal slide continues in full swing. What we're also seeing are the results of increased nihilism and narcissism, fueled largely by the examples set for us at the highest levels of government, business, and education. People do what they see as acceptable, and nihilists are getting by with abusing the system and other people, so they're going to mimic that behavior. Entire generations of elected representatives have been so compromised by money and material items that it is now readily evident that they do not represent anyone but their own selfish interests. As such, many in society have taken their cue and modeled their own behavior after their elected representatives. Business owners regularly get away with all forms of corruption, and as such are seen as being immune to the laws of the land. Where this inevitably heads to is societal crumbling and downfall. I do not even need to refer to civilizations past for you to see this. Folks, leadership must come from the top down. Sure, grassroots movements sometimes start at the bottom and take hold, but for most, they're looking to their boss, president, professor, etc. for direction. And, I know this will shock some, corruption at the top far too often leads to corruption at the bottom. Earth-shattering it is not. You need not be a mathematician to look around at the Western culture and identify the core problems at work. It has also bled, unfortunately, over into business practices. If you call any customer service number or doctor's office these days, you get groupthink. Yes, groupthink. You know, the latest fad is that they have purposely neglected to pay a human being to answer their phones out of some strange obsession with cutting costs at every opportunity. Suddenly, cutting costs for business and medical practices that can obviously afford it is the holy grail above and beyond all human decency. Never mind that they could do some societal good by actually paying the salary for a secretary to answer their phones. Forget that. You have medical clinics and practices now without the common decency to even call you, the patient, with your test results or diagnosis. No, they're all going to web portals where the onus is on you to have a computer, internet service, and technical capabilities to log in, navigate multiple menu screens, and somehow find your latest test results or diagnosis. Why, people? Why? The claim is that the younger generation now are technology addicts, and as such, these medical malpractices have to do basic services this way or be left out. I do not buy this line of reasoning for one single minute. It is just that great chase for the Holy Grail that I mentioned earlier. Go to the local supermarket and see the U-Scan lanes. What do you see? More of the chasing of the Holy Grail of profit at all costs. In fact, let me go a bit further. This is the devaluation and even dehumanization of human beings, God's own creation. Any society that devalues human life is headed for a tragic fall. Mark my words. You can start with killing of infants in the womb. You can start with corporations treating people like replaceable cogs in a machine. You can start with medical malpractices making you log onto a web portal to get your test results. You can start with having to go online to file an unemployment claim without any human interaction. Any way you slice it, lack of caring, empathetic humans in the system is bankrupting the society and culture as a whole. Yes, it is. And my friends and colleagues, where will all of it eventually lead? Will allow me to state that it does not have a good ending overall. Nope. You see prisons filling up, with the United States especially. It will get to a point that we cannot build them fast enough. Murderers and insane individuals are already overrunning streets in many areas of Western nations. It is only going to get worse as morals slide. Human lives are further devalued, and society as a whole crumbles into total depravity. Am I a fool for stating these observations? Think again. Good night, my loyal viewers, and sleep well.